Devin Dirksen, a weight-neutral nutrition coach who's passionate about intuitive eating, dismantling diet culture, and teaching on the science of nutrition. A former biologist turned online nutrition coach, I'm sharing all the practical and mindset steps you need to repair your relationship with food and love eating again. So settle in with your favorite snack, minus cookies, and get ready to learn and laugh with me here on the Weight Neutral Nutrition Podcast. Now on to the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Weight Neutral Nutrition Podcast. I'm your host, Devin Dirksen, and I'm super excited to be chatting with you today. I am going to be talking about how I believe diet culture is becoming sneakier, but I just wanted to give a little quick update. I'm super awesomely excited that it is fall. Super awesomely, really great talking on my part. I feel really good about the season that it is. It's still really nice weather where I live. And it feels like we're having a really awesome season. I made a delicious carrot cake yesterday, and I'm just like really leaning into the fall season and that transition between summer and winter. I don't know about you, but winter is always really hard for me. I feel like the cold, gloomy days can definitely get me down. So I'm just taking some time to reflect on what I need going into the season and how I can better support my own health and well-being and personal development during the winter months. If you're on my email list, you definitely saw some prompts and some tips that I sent out this morning about that topic. I think it was really helpful. If you're not on my email list and you want to get the prompts, you can just send me a DM on Instagram. Actually, I'm at Devin, DEVYN Dirksen, DERKSEN. Just send me a DM and let me know that you were listening to this episode of the podcast and that you want to get the winter self-care prompts. I'd be happy to share those with you. It definitely is an email exclusive thing though, so I'm not going to be sharing those on social media or anything. If you want them, you're going to have to send me a DM and let me know that you want them, because I think it's just like really important to ask yourself some questions as we're in these transition seasons. Although I think it can be really helpful to ask yourself certain types of questions as we're in this transition season from spring and from summer to winter, fall, and then also in the springtime. I don't know, it's interesting where I live. The springs can be really different year to year. So sometimes they're quite chilly. Sometimes it's rainy. Sometimes it's wet. Sometimes it just it feels anyway, like it goes right from winter to summer. So I don't find spring to be as much of a transition time. I'm just impatient for summer to arrive usually. But fall definitely feels like a really awesome time to slow down and ask myself what I need and what I want and how I want the rest of the year to look. And I think for many of us, this is a year, after 2 years of this time being in the pandemic, I think that a lot of people are returning to regular holiday traditions, and with that might come some stress. You might not have had a full family gathering in a while. You might be back on track to do that, things like that. So I think that it's a really good time to just do a little bit of reflection and ask yourself what you want from this next season and how you can best support yourself. So again, if you want to get the prompts on how I'm reflecting on that, you can send me a DM on Instagram. And if you are on my email list and you missed them, just check your promotions folder or your junk folder or whatever. It might be in there as well from today, October 9th, as I'm recording this. Anyway, on to the main topic of discussion today, which is diet culture getting sneakier. And I think that the answer for me, at least, is yes, but it's interesting because I don't know that it's like a sneakiness thing, but I think it's just a bit of a pivot. I think diet companies realize that people don't want to do like fad diets. They realize that fad diets don't work. They want something different and they want something that's actually going to be sustainable and work while also giving them a quick win. And it's interesting, this episode is actually prompted because I work part-time at a bookstore, but we just received the new copies of a book. I can't remember the name of it, but it's by Melissa Urban. She is the co-founder of the Whole30. And I saw these books come in and I was reading the title and reading the inside cover and just like skimming through the book. And the whole book is about boundary setting, which I think is awesome. Cool. Boundaries are great. Everyone wants to make healthy boundaries. And I haven't read the content of the book. I must say that up front. Like, I haven't read her book, but just knowing enough about the Whole30, I can predict, I think, that there will probably be some reference to, or even maybe a sales pitch. Again, I haven't read the book, so this is just my opinion, and I might skim it a little bit more. I don't know if I need to read the whole thing because it probably won't be that valuable to me, but I will give you more information if I find anything out that says anything to the contrary. But I can guess that there's probably going to be some mention of the Whole30 and some mention about food rules and things of that nature. And what I'm trying to say here is that I think the bottom line is this: diet companies are getting savvy because consumers are getting savvy. And I think that because consumers are savvy, they are more difficult to sell to. It's harder to sell someone a fad diet if they don't want a fad diet. And I think that these companies are really realizing the shift and saying, okay, how can we sell the same product, but put a different spin on it? And so Melissa Urban publishing a book about boundaries, but having this like huge subtext of her relationship with food and being the co-founder of the Whole30, it just is icky to me because I think that it's going to be very representative of this trend of diet companies and people selling weight loss and people selling like these crazy fad diets, whether it's paleo, keto, carnivore diet, veganism, raw veganism, Whole30, Noom, whatever. I think that these companies are realizing that they need to put a health spin on their weight loss solutions and a spirituality spin on it, and also a personal development spin. I think that people these days are really interested in psychology. People are really interested in personal development, how you can use psychology to better yourself, and things of that nature. So I think that companies are really trying to maximize their marketing in this way. I think Noom is a good example of this as well. They constantly tout the psychology of weight loss and the science behind how to lose weight in a healthy way, which I think like at its surface, like isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the app is basically trying to say that they are not a weight loss app. I don't know if they've backed away from that now, but before it was like all about healing your relationship with food, but like doing it by counting macros and calories. No, it's just ridiculous, honestly. And I think that we're going to see more and more of these people and companies and coaches and celebrities even going this direction of trying to sell spiritual enlightenment or well-being or community or things of that nature in order to sell the same product that they've been selling forever, which are fad diets like keto, Whole30, paleo, whatever it is. I think that they're not going to change the product. They're going to change the way they market it. And it's going to try to appeal to things that are trendier, like psychology, like intuitive eating, healthy boundaries, like all of these things I think are going to be huge selling points for the exact same product. So I think that because of that, because brands are getting savvier, we as consumers need to also be savvier in the way that we consume information. And it's super interesting. I was actually reading something today. I can't remember where I saw this, but it was an ethical business person that I follow on Instagram. And they had mentioned that they are accepting submissions for essays and news articles and things of that nature for their website. And I was just reading through their submission process, thinking maybe I could submit something like that. And then there's a big thing about how you can't submit content marketing. And then it had a little blurb about how content marketing isn't like real, like it's not helpful. It's not valuable information. It's just content, it's words, it's phrases that are designed to get you to buy something. And I think that we are living in the age of content marketing. I think if you scroll through social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Pinterest, whether it's TikTok, there is a ton of content marketing bombarding you in the face. And most of it is under the guise of a person sharing their product review or a person, saying, wow, this really worked for me. I love this product. Like, how many things like that do you see on TikTok especially? It's my favorite thing from the Amazon app. Like, woo! And that is content marketing. It's content whose sole purpose is to get you to buy something or to increase brand awareness or things like that. It's not objective. It's not educational. It's just trying to make a sale. And I think that it's so interesting because I don't know, like, obviously there was a warning signs of this happening, but all of a sudden it feels like everywhere you look, you're just getting sold to constantly. Social media, like you're constantly just being sold to. And whether there's actually a picture of a product in the image or the video is irrelevant. Like you're getting sold on that brand, you're getting sold on an experience. Like you're getting, a lot of influencers will just post content to make themselves more relatable. That's still them trying to sell you on them and trying to sell you on like their brand. So I think that companies and individuals are going to increasingly be using what is called content marketing in order to get you to buy things. And it's a slow process, right? Like you don't just see an ad for Noom and all of a sudden you're signing up for Noom most of the time, or for the Whole30 or for the keto diet. Like it's because you're seeing all these different ads and all this different content from them. Maybe an influencer you follow is using Noom. Maybe someone you know is using it and telling you about it. You Google Noom and first response or the first result is like, my unbiased opinion of Noom. And then like in tiny print, they're like, oh yeah, I'm an affiliate. Like I'm making money off of this. So I think it's more important than ever to be a very savvy consumer, not just of products, but of media, because it's so interesting, right? Like and I'm 27, use that as you will, but growing up, like you were watching TV and the commercial break would start and you knew, okay, these are commercials for products. But I can't remember the exact statistic, but they say that children under a certain age can't discern when the commercial starts. They all just think that it's like content being promoted at them, or they're just watching TV and like the commercials are part of the TV and they can't differentiate that it's an advertisement. And because of that, like certain laws exist to protect young children from advertising of certain types. And I think it's so interesting though, because us as people who are using social media, it's the same thing, right? We can't really discern, is this an advertisement or is this not? And obviously, if it's your friend posting like a cute picture of their vacation, like that's not an advertisement. But more and more businesses, I think, are using social media as a way to promote brand awareness, to make them more relatable, and to make it so that you can't really discern as much between like their posts and your friends' posts. So then in our minds, it's, oh, we see in a post, like I'm just going to use American Eagle as an example because I just saw a post of theirs earlier today. It's like, okay, I see a post from American Eagle, then I see a post from my friend on her cute vacation, and we just keep scrolling and it goes by so quickly that it's like, oh, is American Eagle my friend too? Like, we don't actively think this, but in our brain, something's going on there. And I don't fully think that we know the extent to which this affects us. And I don't think that we might ever know, because brands are being sneaky. They want us to think this way. And I think that it's such an interesting conversation to have. So anyway, I don't have any solutions for this. I just think that it's really important to be a savvy consumer of social media and just, you know, the brands that you love, like, why do you love them? And yeah, I don't know. This is just like something I've been thinking a lot about, and it pertains directly to diet culture, because I think that diet culture less and less is using like big brands as their face, I think they're turning more towards influencers, towards affiliates, because you want to buy stuff from people that you know and trust your friend, but you don't know and trust Noom because you don't know them, you don't know what it is, and it's just a faceless company. But if your friend is using it and they're promoting it to you and they're telling you about it, then that might be something else. And I haven't even talked about MLMs in this episode, which is like a whole other discussion. Because they use the same tactics, but it's all linked back to like capitalism and marketing and I think, the takeaway is that we need to be savvy consumers. And yes, diet culture is getting sneakier. And I think that it is really great to be on the lookout for this content marketing and this like #authentic and relatability content that is still promoting the same products, just in a different way that's supposed to be friendlier and more fun. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, I guess, on the topic. It's just such a fascinating conversation. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm at devin.dirksen, as I mentioned earlier. I would love to chat with you about this. It's super interesting stuff. And I am doing a promo as well. Like, I just want to put a little plug after talking about marketing. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to let you know, because I didn't promote last week. I didn't talk about my programs at all because I had a guest on the show, but I am running a special bonus for the month of October where all new clients in my VIP Fuel Your Fire package will receive 1 month free of HelloFresh or a similar meal service in your area. So if you've been thinking about coaching, if you've been thinking about joining my one-to-one nutrition coaching, if you feel like you need to relearn how to eat, if you feel like you need to heal your relationship with food and you want someone to help you, I am offering that bonus for the month of October. I won't say too much about it here. You can click on the link in the show description, learn more about coaching with me, because I don't want to talk about it too much because, as I said, I talked a lot about marketing in this episode and I feel like it's awkward to be like, marketing is bad, I hate marketing, and then be like, buy my stuff. But I just wanted to put that in there. That is a time sensitive bonus. It's only going to be running for the month of October for all new Fuel Your Fire clients. You will get a free month of HelloFresh or a similarly offered meal service in your area. And I just want to make sure that you didn't miss out. I would love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I think this is a really interesting conversation. I think that it really warrants discussion. And otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next episode of the Weight Neutral Nutrition Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Weight Neutral Nutrition Podcast. If you love the show, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a rating and review in Apple Podcasts so that more people can find the show. Once you've rated and reviewed, you can send me a screenshot of your rating and review on Instagram. I'm at devin.dirksen, devyn.derksen. I'd love to send you a personal thank you and chat with you about the show. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next episode.